first place Tigers today. Anthony Ghost to lead it off, and it's Kinsler and Cabrera at the top, with Martinez, Cespedes, and Castellanos in the middle. Then it's Avila, Iglesias, and Davis rounding it out. The defense and how they'll line up behind Jeff Samardzija left to right, Cabrera, Eaton, and Garcia. In the infield, Beckham, Ramirez, Bonifacio, and Abreu. Giovanni Soto gets a nod behind the plate, and our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is Jeff Samardzija. Not great numbers so far, but last time out, the last 5 innings of his start, he threw the ball exceptionally well.
Corners in close for Anthony Ghost. Lines that one right back through the middle.
The Tigers really wanted Ghost. They knew that the big problem with this team defensively in this huge ballpark was center field. And Ghost can really go get him. So they traded their #1 prospect, Devin Travis, to Toronto to get Ghost. Ghost has done a magnificent job for them in the early going.
So here's Kinsler. He's off to a big start like Ghost. Ghost was hitting .391 coming in. Kinsler at .342. Cabrera on deck hitting at .432. And on and on and on.
It looked like softball numbers.
Well, you know, the thing is that it's 9 games into the season. And if they maintain anywhere close to these numbers, they're going to walk away with this thing.
Yeah.
It's just that simple.
There is no doubt. And they also have much better team speed and much better team defense than they've had in years past.
Well, the defense is a big thing. It's what makes that team ERA of 1.91. They're giving up almost 3 runs a game less than we are.
Ghost is going to be going here. It's just a question of when. 2 times in the minor leagues he stole over 70 bags. That was 2009 and 2011.
I was talking with our bench coach Mark Parent before the game about Ghost. He had him in the Philly organization, and he just absolutely loves it. Said this guy Ghost is some kind of competitor and some kind of winner.
But when you trade your #1 prospect, and I mean a guy that everybody thought can't miss, granted he's a second baseman, they got a pretty good one in Kinsler, to get the guy they really needed, the guy that holds that outfield together and can really throw. He's got a plus arm in center.
There you got. Most of the time you'll have Cespedes in left field. You put that arm out there with Ghost in center, and that's
pretty good. That's real good, matter of fact.
Yeah. Of course, we don't have to take second fiddle to anybody. Arms in the outfield.
No, we've got some good ones, and more times than not they're pretty accurate, which is of great importance.
Kinsler. First time he has faced Samardzija. In fact, the only guy in this lineup that has faced Jeff is J.D. Martinez, who's 2 for 6 against him.
Jeff could really use one of those splitters and throwing a ground ball to Kinsler.
Kinsler, one of the most aggressive hitters since he has come into this league. Started off with Texas. There he goes. And that is out of play.
You could absolutely see that Ghost was going because he was moving his feet and getting some momentum going towards second base just before Jeff delivered the ball. You'd like to keep him stationary if you could. Now you can see Ghost, you can see him edging off, and he's got some momentum, and if you're on the mound when you're in your stretch, you have to make sure that base runner is stationary. You cannot allow him to move towards second.
Now, most pitchers in today's culture, in today's game, don't even see the runner over there.
A lot of them don't even look.
No. I wonder the last time Justin Verlander looked at a runner. But that doesn't mean that you can't get some help from your catcher, and as you look at Verlander, and your first baseman. Oh yeah, nice pick. And the relay. Could not find the bag, evidently. It looked like the throw may have beat him. Meanwhile, beautiful play by Abreu.
Nice pick on the low throw by Ramirez. Going after the 3-6-3 double play. And this is a good play because Jose has to come off the bag. This could have easily been a base hit. It wasn't. And safe call by Jeff Kellogg.
So here's Cabrera. As I mentioned, 432, a couple of homers. He's driven in 9. Breaking ball strike. There's where the runner, in that case, Anthony Gose, he's got to try to get. He sees where the ball is going to be hit, sees where the first baseman is going to have to make the play, and he's got to try to get in line with that throw to second base. I think he gave him a pretty clear shot. High and deep. Off the top of the fence. They're going to now hold Kinsler on the double by Cabrera.
Cabrera missed most of spring training. He only had about 2.5 weeks to swing the bat, and this time a high fastball inside. Even at 95, you saw him bring his hands in. He thought he hit the ball out of the ballpark. He was almost right. It hit the bottom of the yellow line, bounded back into play. Nice play by Adam Eaton, running a long way to get the ball back in and making sure that a very fast Ian Kinsler couldn't score.
So here's J.D. Martinez, the right fielder, hitting at 282 with 4 homers. He's driven in 9. Checks it up, takes a strike. Well, Miguel Cabrera, the reason he's the best hitter in baseball is he can hit with short arms better than anybody in the game.
That pitch was a good 3 inches inside off the plate.
Nobody can hit with short arms better than Miguel Cabrera.
It was high and very much to his liking.
So Abreu goes back on the little Doc Edwards shot right there. Makes the catch for out number 2.
Now there's a big difference. J.D. Martinez is a pretty good hitter. If we'll show you the location of the last pitch, you'll see it's very similar to the location of the Cabrera double. Take a look at it. Jeff gets it inside, and instead of getting his hands in, he gets jammed with it. Can't do much with it. The runners stay where they are. Good pitch by Samardzija. It's just a difference in one of the best hitters in baseball and a guy who's very good, but not quite as good.
Yoenis Cespedes hitting at 308.
Here's where the pressure will fall to Soto, because if Jeff does get to 2 strikes, he'll want to try to wipe him out with a good splitter. They wind up in the dirt, and you've got the first run of the ball game 90 feet away.
He started off last year with Oakland, team he signed with, and in a big surprise trade went to Boston. Oakland, he was sent 101 games, hit 17 homers, drove in 67. With Boston, 5 homers and 33 RBIs in 51 games. But a terrific outfielder. There's a strike, and the count 2-1.
Good slider by Jeff, shaved off the outside corner. You don't necessarily have to throw him too many good strikes. You do have first base open, and although Castellanos is not a bad hitter, he can't do you quite as much damage as Cespedes.
Big rip underneath it, thank goodness.
Well, that time he hung a slider, and that's why Soto's going out to talk with him. Also, you got a very smart base runner out at second base. You see the slider here, and it just hangs over the middle of the plate, and that was a break. But what Soto is probably saying is, look, Miguel Cabrera whether he will or not give location, he can do it, and he's been looking in now for 5 pitches. He doesn't
2 on, 2 out.
signs.
And the 2-2 pitch. Alexei with a tough hop makes it. And he pitches out of it, so they threaten, can't score after 1. Nada.
And Dan Hayes from CSNChicago.com. And Dan, you've got some interesting information to impart about prospective Pensman.
Yeah, right now, Stoney, as of Monday, Jake Petrichka could be back. It sounds like that's when he will be back. And Robin Ventura is saying right away wants to throw him in there. He's not going to, that he got his testing out phase last year. Obviously, he and Zach Putnam pitched in that closer role, kind of split at the end of the year. And Robin Ventura is very comfortable with what Jake Petrichka gave him. He's got a bullpen, another game appearance at AAA scheduled for Saturday. As long as all goes well, he should be back. He pitched yesterday through 16 pitches, 11 strikes, looked good, and White Sox are getting good reports on him.
And so assuming that things do go as planned, he's going to be wearing that uniform pretty soon, because he was a huge part of the bullpen last year.
That ball hit high and deep to right field. Stretch. JD Martinez goes back, looks up. You can put it on the board. Yes. Opposite field shot for Abasail, and it's 1-0.
First home run of the year, 3rd driven in. And there's nothing quite like coming back to the team who traded you away and doing this. Our Ford home run replay. Easiest place to hit a home run in this ballpark is the relatively short porch in right center. It's only 365, and it couldn't hold that one. Dan, you also have some news for us.
Yeah, it was kind of messaging back and forth with Nate Jones yesterday. Obviously, he's still down there in Arizona, and he's about 4 bullpens through as of right now. He's strictly fastball and changeup at this point. Has not thrown the slider yet, but he's progressing very well. He's very happy with his progress that he's made so far. He said the day after has not been bad at all, which obviously is kind of the real test when you're out there for the first time off the mound. And he's upbeat. He's really not eligible to come off the disabled list until June 4th. So obviously he's got a ways to go. Would have probably a lengthy rehab assignment in there, but he's very encouraged with what he's gone through so far.
Of course, Nate has 2 aspects in that. One is the hip and one is the arm.
There's a little soft fly ball in the center field. Ghost coming on. That speed of his. Catches it.
Well, it would appear that the bullpen is going to start to take shape, and that's a good thing. And I'm sure we're going to see Jake in the not too distant future, possibly as soon as a couple days from now, and that will give us from the right side another weapon to go with the strong left-hand presence that we've seen from Jennings and from Duke.
And both Duke and Jennings do show that they can get righties out. They've had a good history of that, but you're absolutely right. Jake Petrushka, you know, if you've got him in there, Robin Ventura is very excited about having that ground ball possibility from the right side.
Well, Dan, thank you very much. That's very good news coming out of one source we kind of expected in Petrushka, and one we're just now hearing about with Nate Jones. So thank you. We appreciate it, and we will see you down the road a bit.
All right. Thanks for having me.
All right, Dan. Thanks, buddy. As Alexei with a 1-0 count.
I love the fact that Alexei shows bunt at least, because that means that Castellanos is going to have to play in at least somewhat. Now, with the 2-0 count, he's now moved back off the grass, thinking that Alexei is going to be swinging away on a hitter's pitch.
Three 3-0. Don't help him out.
Borderline high strike, but it did have the zone.
That's into right field. That's a can of corn. All right, so 2 down. And right now, let's check out our picks quick. Jim Angio, our director and the crew. Well, they went with Garcia. Steve's going with Cabrera. And Mike Mazza, Kenny Wiz, Tom Eichstadt, Pete Catazone, Laura Arenas, Mary Weiss, and Tom Sheridan. And we're going to go with Gordon Beckham. And here he is.
David Price is very quiet in that delivery. It's not quite pitching from the stretch, but as close as you can get without really doing it. Hands don't move over his head. He keeps them at his waist and just takes a half step back and rocks and throws.
Good rip.
He feels that really helps him with his control. David Price gave up the last base hit Paul Konerko's career. Of course, it was number 14 against number 14.
Inside out that one.
Anthony Gose a couple of steps over into right center field. Rajay Davis is well into left center and very deep for Gordon. Well, there's a lot of room out there in left center field.
Gordon trying to take him into right center. Now too much time. Gordon chops that one foul. Touch him up. Good eye.
Tried a backdoor slider and didn't get it. This pitch is off the corner. You'll see on our Menards pitch tracks where the 6 lights up. Alex Avila tried to ease it back in the zone and steal a strike, but Mark Rippinger said it was wide, which it was.
Full count.
Gio Soto in the on deck circle if Gordon can keep it alive.
And he walks it. So good at bat. First base on balls issued by Price. And that'll bring up Giovanni Soto. Joe hitting a .250 with a homer.
There's only been 2 batteries that have pitched and caught for both the White Sox and the Cubs. It's Samardzija and Soto. Back last year, they pitched and caught for 3 teams. Include the Athletics in that.
Big rip, just got a piece of it.
The only other battery that caught and pitched for the Cubs and the Sox, yeah, that Hog's very familiar with, talks about him a lot, Juan Pizarro and J.C. Mark. Pizarro with pretty good stuff.
One time, one of the hardest throwers in the game when he was with Milwaukee. Chops that one foul, so very quickly 0-2 the count. Big gap in left center if he can find it. Of course, Goes can, and Davis can close that gap in a hurry. Got him. But the first homer of the season for Avisaíl Garcia. Opposite field shot. And we'll go to the bottom of the second. We lead it 1-0. Over the Nashville Predators. A special hour-long edition of Chevy Blackhawks pregame live starts at 7:30 on CSN Chicago.
Castellanos to lead it off, and I talked to Wally Joyner, the hitting coach, about Castellanos, and he said last year he Fell victim to a lot of right-handers that would throw sliders low and away and well off the plate. He kept expanding his zone. He was very anxious. He said this year he's gotten him to lay off some of those, but I think that's probably what every young hitter has to battle, expanding that zone and swinging pitches he just can't handle.
23-year-old. Last year he had 259, 11 homers, and knocked in 66. 1-0 Sox. Homer by Avi into right center field. This is the 4th game they played here at home this year, and that's the first earned run that they have allowed. That's pretty stout.
I believe in that Minnesota series they outscored them 24-1. They just came in and 22-1. They came in and it was just bombs away. And of course their pitching was unhittable. It's been unhittable a good portion of this year. Jeff did a whale of a job of getting out of 2nd and 3rd and only 1 out in the 1st inning. Jamming Martinez and getting Cespedes on a ground ball. And it doesn't hurt that Victor Martinez is not in the lineup. Victor, who had his knee surgically repaired in the winter, tweaked it a couple of days ago and hasn't been back in the lineup.
He gone.
After a steady diet of sliders low and away, he goes to the high heat and throws it by him at 96. So the fastball of Samardzija looking better and better. This is a great spot for him. Too many guys can handle it up there.
They're going to put the shift on for the catcher, Alex Avila.
He's been trying his best to drive the ball to left center field, which is what he did in his rookie year and made him so effective. When I talked to Wally about Alex, I said, what's the difference? What are you trying to do? He said last year he took so many foul balls off his mask. Many times he'd come in for batting practice and wasn't all there, wasn't just seemingly a little woozy. So just a question of getting him healthy again and getting him to realize that all the teams are going to shift on him. Use the left side a lot more.
Outfield for the most part straight up and very much spread out. As off speed, off balance, and the count 1-2.
You see a radical shift.
Good pitch. Ate him up on the fist.
After his first year, the OPS, which is on base plus a slugging percentage, has gone down an average of about 180 points. Things have just not gone well. He's been beaten up a lot as a catcher. We've commented on it, how many times he will get hit in the course of the games that we play. Magnify that by many more, and you see the abuse he's been taking.
Well, it's impossible for him to have gotten beaten up by the other teams as much as we beat him. I mean, it's impossible, or else he'd be in intensive care.
He seemed to take. He had some series where he seemed to be getting hit twice a day.
I mean, it was absolutely. You got to the point that it was a little scary. Taking foul tips. I mean, right in the middle of the mask, off the shoulder, off the cup, everywhere. Yes, he did. He gone. 2 down.
Join us at U.S. Cellular Field for an exciting White Sox baseball season. The Pick 7 plan offers fans a flexible 7-game plan that features savings off individual game tickets. Pick 7 plans start as low as $55 per plan. For tickets or more information, visit WhiteSox.com or call 312-674-1000.
Here's a guy they really missed last year. This is a terrific young shortstop, Jose Iglesias, off to a big offensive start at .481, 25 years old, and he can pick it.
When you're leading the league in batting average and on base percentage, you're getting it done. Factor in that he's got just a magnificent glove. They've got themselves a good one. And here today we're seeing 2/3 of a 3-team deal that sent Jake Peavy to Boston, Iglesias here, and Avi Garcia.
He got a cookie right there and missed it.
This one up in the zone, spinning. Unfortunately fouled it straight back. Looked like Jeff tried to cut that ball away. Not his best fastball at 92.
Into center field, hang up, it will, and that'll retire the side. A 1-2-3 inning for the Shark, and he leads it 1-0.
th, and the White Sox have dedicated Saturday, May 9th as Mother-Son Night at the ballpark. In addition to specially priced tickets and parade passes, first 10,000 ladies age 14 and up will receive a Mother's Day tote. To purchase tickets, visit whitesox.com/mom.
Here's Emilio Bonifacio. Get back to the top of the order with Adam Eaton and Melky Cabrera. Corners in close. Castellanos and on the grass. It's a different looking defensive Detroit team with that center fielder and that shortstop.
They also now have an outstanding double play combination. And Castellanos, who had a tough year defensively last year, is doing a much better job.
That's a good bunt. That's a real good bunt. Whoa, whoa. Another nice play by Price.
You see how good an athlete David Price is. He gets the ball, and the glove flip, sometimes when you do that, the ball just goes sailing straight up in the air. He's able to get something on it. A terrific bunt by Bonifacio, but once again, well defended by Price.
Two real good plays he has made, and here is Adam Eaton. That's all right. I love it. Put the pressure on, make some good plays over the course of 162 games.
Well, you're not going to find many guys out there like David Price.
No.
Because both of those could have been base hits easily.
Once again, Castellanos well in on the grass at third as there's a strike, and the count evens at 1.
Omar Vizquel is working with Castellanos at third on his footwork, on his quickness, trying to get him a whole lot better than he was. Castellanos was an outfielder. They moved him to third to get him a spot to play. So it hasn't been the smoothest transition. Last year he had a minus 30 runs saved. That was the worst by any third baseman in the major leagues. This year, things have improved greatly, and you couldn't have a better teacher than Omar Vizquel. I don't care if it's shortstop, second, first, or wherever. He can teach you footwork.
Off the plate. The one thing that you can take a great athlete, say who was a center fielder in college or a shortstop in high school and college, you can put them at third base and they still don't believe how much faster the game is over there than it is at shortstop or center field. Shoots that one right by him.
It just helps when you have the reputation of a guy that will lay down a bunt, because Castellanos is still in close at third. And Eaton, who hits Price surprisingly well, maybe as well as any left-hander in the league, finds himself 6 for 10 lifetime against the very talented left-hander.
So here's Melky. Went out to J.D. Martinez in right field. And you'd like to see our right-handed hitters take the same approach that Javi Garcia did. Over playing this game for a long time and watching it for a very long time. The better the left-hander, the more the right-handed hitter better try to beat into right field. It's very, very difficult for strong right-handed hitters to cover the plate on a good left-handed pitcher. If you do, chances are you're probably going to go 0 for 4. Or maybe break a bat or two.
And Price is not really known as a guy that will cut the fastball consistently into the right-handers. He does stay away a lot. Now that he's thrown a curveball, that usually is away too.
Well, if you're going to try to beat him as a strong right-handed hitter, or as just a right-handed hitter, you can force the issue a little bit by backing off the plate and let that cure the approach to the pitch. If you're going to stand in the same place in the box against David Price as you are and Anibal Sanchez, who's going tomorrow, something's wrong with that picture.
That's pretty much how it's going to be.
Yeah, something's wrong with that picture. I mean, you know, it's just, that's the way it is.
Yeah.
It's not the way it always was. Cooperstown is full of guys who moved around in that box. That's a fair ball. Good play by Kinsler to make the pickup and hold the bag. Kinsler was a good one.
No chance of two on that one as Castellanos makes a nice pick down the line. The throw off balance. Good play by Kinsler, who gave up the idea of two, just making sure that he secures the baseball for one.
He's one of the smarter second basemen or middle infielders in this league, probably in all of baseball. So here's Abreu. Out and around that one. He grounded out to Kinsler his first trip.
Kinsler came over from the Texas Rangers in a deal that sent Prince Fielder to the Rangers. Prince had neck surgery, was lost for most of last year. Kinsler has done just a great job for the Tigers.
Oh, and 2 the count. Abreu now 1 for 8 against David Price, and that one hit left the premises.
There's a lot of room in left center field. There's a lot of room in left center field normally, but with Ghost shading him to right center, Davis playing him straight away, even with the great speed of those guys. Jose can plug that gap. They're not going to get it. Missed twice inside with fastballs. That last one up at 96.
An easy 96.
He's got a nice smooth delivery.
Got him, and that'll retire the side. We go to the bottom of the third, leading 1-0.
Later in the game, brought to you by Miller Lite. You're looking at the difference in the ball game. Javi Garcia with an opposite field home run. And now it's up to Jeff Samardzija to make it hold up. keep their speed burners off base, and Rajai Davis is one of them.
And he has always played well against us. 3 for 3 in stolen bases so far this season. Last year had 36 stolen bases when he hit 282. That's foul.
When you've got an 0-1 count, you absolutely love to see a hitter unload on one, but well foul. That looked like a splitter. It was low and in, and the only place that Davis could hit it was foul.
Outfield straight up. There's the base hit, just pokes it into right field.
Davis was in protection mode as that pitch was off the plate, and he was able to drive it into right field. It's another running situation for the Tigers.
Here's Ghost. He singles sharply right back through the middle, leading off the bottom of the first.
Was originally drafted by Philadelphia in the second round in 2008. Traded to Houston. Exchanged for Roy Oswalt, July of 2010.
Attaboy. That's the best way. Hold the ball on him. Ball's booted. That'll be an error and trouble brewing. Oh boy. Double play, perfect double play ball.
Should have been 2. Instead, it was none. And unfortunately, now Samardzija in a jam.
Yeah, you just got to forget about that man at third. Go from there. Here's Kinsler. He had a hot shot down to Abreu. Made a very fine pick. Forced Ghost at second.
Somewhat surprising, as Kinsler is a notorious first ball fastball hitter. But that ball was up and on the outside corner, certainly not to his liking. Either that, or as a number 2 hitter in back of a base stealer, sometimes you just wait for him to take off.
When you were pitching, did you ever get in a situation like this where a guy booted a perfect double play ball, and all of a sudden now, instead of having 2 out, nobody on, you got men on first and third, nobody out? They're going to come to the plate. Good play by Beckham. He gone. Good quick play by Gordon.
Well, Gordon realized coming forward, you can't even think about another play but the play that's in front of you. And even though Davis has great speed, the flip gets him there. And Gio Soto hangs on to it. Well, I think you said it right, Hawk, when you said, and I was in those positions, yes, but you forget about the guy at third base. You assume he's going to score, and you just get the out. Because if he doesn't score, it's a bonus. I mean, that particular play on a check swing, that's a bonus for Jeff. But he's just out there thinking about getting some outs. And
well, the mindset I was talking about, though, Stevie, is there's several ways that I've known pitchers that accepted that scenario. Some of them started cursing themselves, really upset, as you well know.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. How can you boot that ball? You know, that's one scenario.
That's destructive, though.
No question about it. And then you have other guys. As Cabrera can't get it, he hit a double almost out of here in the left center field. Say, okay, Steve, let's get out of this jam. Let's get out of this jam. Let's bail him out. That's like a catfish hunter type approach.
Well, it helps if you've got something going downward that you hope can be hit into the ground, because Cabrera will hit into double plays. The problem with giving this team a whole lot of chances is there's thunder up and down this lineup.
Count evens at 1.
What would be a real nice idea here, and I don't know if the Sox have it in their repertoire, but you've got a very fast man at first base in Ian Kinsler, who's getting a good secondary lead. And a good play is a fastball outside off the corner and have Abreu go behind him at first.
Nice pick by Soto. Real nice.
That could have easily gone to the screen, in which case both runners would have moved in scoring position. Giovanni able to backhand it. Couldn't get the body in front. But fortunately, it stuck in the glove. But Kinsler with a huge secondary lead. He's straying way off the bag.
There's a strike. Another option too that you never see worked anymore is that could have been a pitch to do it on. We used to have what we call a slider pitch out for the man on second. Oh, look at the pick by Beckham. Are you kidding me? Mercy. Look at Cabrera. Just look at him. That ball was absolutely scalded. Whoa! Pick it, Gordon. Playoffs tip off at CSN as our Bulls battle of Bucks in Game 1. Join Neil and Stacy for the hometown call right here. Coverage starts at 5 on Comcast Sports Net. Go Bulls. Go Hawks. Go Sox.
What a game that was by the Hawks. Wow.
Here's Avi. Takes first pitch strike. He homered into right center field, leading off the second inning. We have a run on 2 hits, 1 error. They have no runs, 3 hits, and no errors. What a play by Gordon Beck.
What a job by Jeff Samardzija. Wiggling out of a jam in the first inning, wiggling out of a jam in the third inning. This one could have easily been a 5-1 game. Instead, it's a 1-0 game with the Sox on top. Great play by Gordon. They turned 2 on a 1-hop rocket that could have easily found its way into left field.
But it was the hop. That was not that easy short hop. That was close to an in-between, as that's what made that play. That ball was absolutely smoked on a tough hop.
When you get out Cabrera, he usually hits the ball awfully hard, and that one came with a lot of overspin. Gordon stayed right with it. After the pick, it was pretty easy, but the pick, just out of this world.
The 0-2 pitch. Broken bat. 1 out.
Sox fans, join us on Saturday, April 25th at 1:10 p.m. as your White Sox take on the Royals. Also, the first 20,000 fans will receive a Jose Abreu 2014 Rookie of the Year blanket presented by Beggar's Pizza. For tickets, call 866-SOX-GAME or visit whitesox.com/promos.
Castellanos moves from third base into short right field for the shift on Adam. Like Adam was trying to take that one right back through the middle.
Interesting defense, only in that the infield, they play him as a dead pull hitter. The outfield, they play him as an opposite field hitter. There we show you the defense. You see Gose is out in left center field. The huge gap is in right center.
Softly hit. Kensler. So 2 out to Alexei. Breaking ball strike. Alexei. 5-2. J.D. Martinez in right field.
Price originally drafted by the Dodgers. Imagine if he happened to sign with them. Decided to go to Vanderbilt. Worked out pretty well for him. Dodgers drafted him in the 19th round. He obviously got a whole lot more money the next time he was drafted by Tampa Bay.
One, 2, 3 inning. We go to the bottom of the 4th. It is still 1-0 good guys. Our guys lead at 1-0. That homer by Avi Garcia, his first of the season, leading off the second inning into the right center field bleachers. And except for just an absolute brilliant play by Gordon Beckham, it would have been a 2-1 Tiger lead. But he made it, and it's 1-0 Sox. So here's J.D. Martinez. Alexei. Martinez popped up to Abreu and now pops up to Ramirez.
But between innings, I was back checking the computers and ran into Dave Dombrowski. And I told him that Cabrera needs to hit the ball harder. He said, that was some play by Beckham. I said, he's real good wherever you put him. He said, that could turn out to be a game changer, and he might be right.
Do you think?
Dave, the president and general manager of the Tigers, done a nice job here. They've got a good, solid team.
Yes, he has. He's done a good job. As here's Cespedes. Cespedes grounded out to Alexei. Well, there's one thing. The toughest job for a general manager today in the game is to build a bullpen. That by far and away is the toughest job, and that's why Rick Hahn did an unbelievable job for us. There's a strike. Turning a very, very common, average, mediocre bullpen into a pretty good bullpen, and with possibility of more coming.
It's been very good. It's going to get, I think, a whole lot better.
This game tied at 1.
First home run of the year for Cespedes. He's now driven in his 4th. It's our 4th home run replay. It was an off-speed pitch. It looked like a splitter that didn't split. And it was a bomb. Way back over the bullpen and long gone.
So here's Castellanos, struck out on a fastball.
Tigers do have 2 guys in the final year of their contracts. One of them you just saw, Yoenis Cespedes and David Price, both eligible for free agency at the end of this year.
Pretty good rip right there by Castellanos, and the count 1-2.
Miguel Cabrera is going to be here for quite some time. Even when you get him out, he squares it up. That is some hitter.
That breaking ball, souvenir right side. He's the smartest hitter in this league, and probably in all of baseball.
Yeah, you've got to make some sort of adjustments, because you can make him look bad one time up on a certain pitch in a certain place, but if you go back there in a key situation in the game, he's got a memory that gets him right on top of that one.
He doesn't mind looking bad. He does not mind. There's that base hit into left field. That's a whole key, part of the key to his success. If there's one guy that you could say that possibly sets up pitchers, it's Miguel Cabrera. Because you framed it right. Second, third, fourth inning, you might get him and make him look terrible on a slider going away or a fastball inside. And then if it comes to the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning, you throw him that same pitch. And chances are you can put it on the board.
Pretty much hard to believe. You know, hitters, a lot of hitters will come with pitchers and catchers. Some will come a week later. He only really started hitting the last 2.5 weeks of spring training, getting his normal at bats and everything that a hitter has to do. I think Jeff really wanted that one. I think that Gio Soto thought it was a strike. Mark Ripperger didn't like it. And it pretty much was there. See the Honda pitch tracks, and it had it. It had part of the zone, but was down.
That ball hit into left center field. We got a man there. So Avila hits it hard. Meanwhile, 2 down.
We talked about Alex Avila going back to his roots, as it were. That means hitting the ball to left center field. Adam Eaton, with a huge amount of room to cover in this ballpark, had a long way to run, and he ran it down.
Jose Iglesias, he's 0 for 1, but he hit it right on the money. Line shot right to Adam Eaton. Yeah, Cabrera is the closest thing to Manny Ramirez as far as being able to set up a pitcher that we've seen. And he truly has more fun at the plate than anybody in this league. When he puts that bat in his hand, he walks to the plate, he has fun. He's got an idea, he's got a nice approach, and he has fun up there.
He might not have been quite this smart, but from the time I first got a look at him when he was with the then Florida Marlins, you could tell he was going to be something special. Because you took a guy who was a third baseman, maybe, prospective first baseman to be, and they put him in right field for the playoffs in 2003. He could hit.
Gordon's got him, but the long home run by Cespedes. We're into the 5th, tied at 1.
and it is the defensive heroics of Gordon Beckham. First a little chopper, he comes home with it. They cut down the tying run at the time, and then the double play and out of the inning. A shot by Miguel Cabrera. Gordon on the high hop picks it. Well, job at third.
For sure, he saved us 3 runs today.
Yeah, he's a good one regardless of where Robin decides to put him. Today it just happens to be third base.
He had a good at bat back in the second inning, drawing a walk, the only one issued by David Price. Plus he had a couple of good swings like that one just underneath it. Gordon's got a little bit of a different persona this year than he's had the last couple of seasons with us.
I think he's understanding what his role is going to be, and he is set out to absolutely excel at it regardless of where Robin puts him. You know, at first you come to the major leagues after what was for him just an enchanted college career, and you come up here, you have a very good rookie season and everything going well. Then you hit some tough times and you wind up getting traded, which is always a surprise. First time you're traded from the team that brought you to the major leagues. He's a different guy these days.
Well, he started out dumbing himself, started out thinking himself. Good eye, and it's not unusual.
No, and I think it was a great acquisition.
Do that.
Great acquisition getting him back, because he is going to be a superb swingman, and who knows, this doesn't necessarily have to be his lot for the rest of his career. He's good enough to eventually get back and maybe secure a position.
I don't think there's any question about it. That's out of play right side.
Everybody wants to come to the major leagues and be Albert Pujols. From the day you put on a major league uniform, you start hitting, you just never stop. The reality is that most guys have to struggle at one point or another. It's not that you struggle, it's how you come back and get through it. And Gordon's in the process of doing just that.
Another good rip. Well, if I were a youngster coming into the major leagues today, nothing against Albert, great hitter, I'd want to be Miguel Cabrera.
You got two really, really good ones. I guess if you were one or the other, or emulated one or the other, and had the kind of success that either of them had, you'd be very wealthy.
Well, you win a lot of ball games.
Yes, sir.
Made a good pitch on him right there. Could not lay off of it. Four strikeouts now.
And maybe the closest thing to them coming into the league and having almost instant success, only factor in some speed and some pretty big defense, is Mike Trout. As he came up, didn't struggle too much. And when you have the ability to hit the ball out of the ballpark, hit for batting average, and run like he does, you take the league by storm, and he's done just that.
The only man to ever, in his first 3 years, finish second, and first in MVP.
That's not too bad.
I still want to be Cabrera, though. Although I really enjoy watching Trout play. I enjoy watching great players play. And he has fun, too, playing.
Yes, he does.
Mike has fun playing. Breaking ball. 1-2 the count. DeSoto struck out his first trip. First of 3 here in Detroit. All going to be 12-10 Central games. Tomorrow, Chris Sale against Anibal Sanchez, and that game will be over WGN. And on Sunday, Jose Quintana against Shane Green, 25-year-old right-hander who's 2-0.
He's been a revelation here. He's thrown 8 innings twice.
Well, we saw him with New York last year, and he impressed us then. That good slider. They say now he's got a real good sinker.
What an addition to this starting rotation that's lost Scherzer, lost Porcello. A couple of years ago, lost Fister. And they haven't missed a beat.
Ball hit hard into left field. So that is our third hit.
Normally this is a play that Iglesias probably gets a glove on. But it is hit awfully hard. Scoots under the glove and out into left field. I think he would tell you that that ball got under the glove. I don't think he's very happy with himself on that effort. He is an exceptional shortstop.
I think he'd tell you he just didn't get a good jump on it.
And it could very well be the shirts. I mean, it's very bright. It's a unique early afternoon game this time of year, and I think it came out of a bad background for him.
He just hit it right on my head. They say this is one of the toughest parts to pick up the ball in the American League.
Well,
Bonifacio.
Gio's going to take it, certainly.
I always had trouble picking up the ball here in Detroit in the old ballpark at Tiger Stadium when I was playing right field.
When I pitched there, I had trouble picking it up as it was leaving the stadium because they killed me.
Well, that was a good hitter's park.
He had some really good hitters.
Yeah, you put good hitters in a good hitter's park and you're going to get killed.
Get some trouble.
That pitch off the plate calls him out.
Mark Ripperger has given David Price a couple of those. It's not a strike, but if it's being called, you're going to have to go out there and get it.
Is Adam 1 for 2. Price made a real good play to get him on an attempted bunt leading off the ball game. Then he shot a single by Castellanos in the third. Takes first pitch strike. Right to Castellanos. And that'll retire the side. We're halfway home. Tied at 1. Bottom of the 5th inning. Rajay Davis takes first pitch strike. Beckham's got him. One down.
White Sox fans, celebrate your Mexican heritage on May 5th with Cinco de Miller, presented by Miller Lite. White Sox are offering specially priced tickets to celebrate Cinco de Mayo. Arrive early for a pregame musical performance. Enjoy Tex-Mex treats and a post-game fireworks show set to Mexican music, presented by Miller Lite. To purchase tickets, visit whitesox.com/Cinco.
Anthony Gose lined a solid single to center leading off the bottom of the 1st, and he reached on an arrow in the 3rd. So the Tigers, like our Sox, have a good 1-2 in that lineup. Gose hitting .391 coming in. Kinsler hitting .342. Our guys have yet to get it cranked up, but they will. That's softly hit. Softly hit. Can't get it.
Soto wanted this fastball up high. You see where the target is, and Jeff probably got it lower than he'd like. Gose hits it off the end of the bat, and unfortunately it can't carry to Eden. So Anthony has some pop. That's why you have to respect his power in this ballpark. And he winds up in another base stealing situation.
Here's Kinsler. He wanted to get a Lance Johnson jump there.
I think if Jeff was looking at him, he would have picked him off.
Oh, easy. Easy.
They called a pitch out. He's not really looking at him and delivers the ball. Well, in what could have been a very big second out of the inning, Gose is able to get back.
He's got a good lead. Outfield straight up. Eaton deep in center.
Last 4 years, as you can see, they were slothful, very slothful. And then last year, a completely different team as they turned it on.
Line into right field. We got a man there. 2 down. And that'll bring up Cabrera.
Miguel Cabrera is today's T-Mobile game changer. The most consecutive seasons of 100-plus runs batted in. You see Alex Rodriguez, Jimmy Fox, and Luke Gehrig at the top, and Miguel Cabrera with a very good chance of supplanting all of those guys before it's over for him.
There he goes. And there's a base hit by Cabrera. They quickly get it back in. There are 2 out runners at the corners.
Cabrera's been up 3 times, and 3 times he's hit it right on the button. This one is right down the middle. Jeff knows he made a mistake, and you Miguel Cabrera is too good a hitter to make a mistake. The runners at the corners. There are 2 outs. Now you have to get by J.D. Martinez. When I talked to Wally Joyner about J.D., he was as surprised as anybody that he was let go by Houston. He said one of the things that Houston didn't have enough patience with is he completely changed his batting style in his last year with the Astros. He raised his hands, he changed his approach, and he actually started hitting the ball real well, but didn't get a chance. And they are the beneficiaries of those changes.
Now, Houston's made some mistakes in the past.
This is a big one.
Past couple of years.
This is a real big one.
JD, all he did last year, hit .315, 23 homers, 76 RBIs. After they called him up from Toledo. There's a strike and the count 1-2.
That was a very good pitch as Martinez looks at Mark Rippinger. That one happened to have the corner of the plate. But Mark has been calling the pitch 2-3 inches off the corner. There's no reason not to go back there again. Maybe you can buy one just off the corner and get him out.
He gone. Up and in. And that'll retire the side. We're into the 6th, tied at 1.
Fans, check out the Xfinity Fundamentals deck overlooking left field at U.S. Cellular Field. It's accessible from the 100, 300, and 500 levels. Young Sox fans can learn baseball fundamentals from Chicago White Sox Training Academy coaches. The space features batting and pitching cages, base running areas, and more skill instruction. It's all from Xfinity, your home for the most live sports.
Top of the 6th inning in this game, tied at 1. Solo homers for us by Avi Garcia. For them, Yoenis Cespedes. Melky 0 for 2. And the count evens at 1. Beautiful, beautiful day here in Detroit. Supposed to have great weather tomorrow, and then possibility of rain on Sunday. Checks it up, 2-1. And after that Sunday game, we'll return home, start off a 7-game homestand, 3 with Cleveland and 4 with Kansas City. Three and one, don't help him out. Zone him in, reel him in, and light him up. Melky.
In the leadoff hitter on, going through the middle of the order, it's a good way to untie this the game.
High pop up, get out of here.
It just barely does.
As trying to come back.
Miguel goes over, has some fun with the fans. He does have a whole lot of fun playing this game. It shows up every day.
Well, during the course of the season, he'll be by far the most. You'll have more. Look at him. You'll have more shots of him.
Gives that guy a little hockey face wash with the glove.
After an umpire calls him out on a bad pitch, of him turning around just smiling. 2 hopper. And I'll tell you something else about Cabrera. He's taken over from what we've seen Cal Ripken's spot as far as signing more autographs than anybody in this league.
He's really changed as he's gotten a bit older, a bit wiser. Not that he's old by any stretch of the imagination, but he's really changed his approach to the fans and having fun at the ballpark. And it shows. They love him here. Well, they would because of the bat, the home runs, the runs batted in, and all those things that he does. But the other things, he's turned himself into just a great representative of the Tigers and Detroit.
Glacius. Jose now 0 for 3, a grounder to second, a strikeout, and a grounder to short. So quickly 2 gone.
That wasn't that easy of a pick. The first play was, it was a nice hopper. That one flattened out. He was able to stay down. And again, with infielders, you have to stay down. You can always come up with the hop. If you're up, you usually can't go down when it flattens out.
Here's Avi. Cranked out his first homer, leading off the second inning into right center field. Give him that same approach right here.
Here's our Xfinity high-speed action replay, and we take you back to the second inning, where he gets one up and out. At the time, a 1-0 game. First home run of the year for Avi against his former mates.
Two out, 1-2 the count.
For a Friday day game, it's a very nice crowd here in Detroit. They've got themselves a strong team. They know it. And they've supported them well.
Had him off balance out in front. 1, 2, 3 innings, 5 in a row retired by David Price. brand new edition of the Best of Blackhawks All Access. Tonight at 7 on CSN. It'll be Cespedes, Castellanos, and Avila here in their half of the 6th inning.
2 home runs in this game, and consequently a 1-1 tie.
Outfield straight up, spread out. First pitch strike. That one at 94, Cespedes. Hit one way out of here with 1 out in the 4th inning.
Here it is on what looked to be either a splitter or a slider. It was an off-speed pitch, and Cespedes hit it a mile. Jeff is starting to get a little better feel for that cutter slash slider as you look at a very even amount of pitches. This, make no mistake about it, is a very tough lineup to face.
Well, if you get in a close ball game in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning, you can eliminate one of them.
Yes, I would say whenever he comes up, you just take Cabrera and you put him on first base, except perhaps with the bases loaded.
And this, how good he is. He gone. Gas at 96.
Set him up with some cutters, sliders away, and threw that face-high fastball right by him.
Castellanos has struck out and singled sharply into left field.
Jeff is using that high fastball very effectively today. Got a lot of these Tiger hitters going upstairs trying to catch up with anywhere from 95 to 97. If you make contact up there, the only thing you're going to do is pop it straight up. And there's another one.
That one at 95.
Tigers came into this one 8-1, 1 game ahead of Kansas City. Kansas City 7-2 after losing 2 to the Twins.
Well, when you've got, this is their 10th game, the first 9 games, when you got 2 guys with 9 RBIs and another with 8, chances are you're going to have.
You can do well.
Yeah.
That and a team ERA of 191.
Next pitch will be number 82. Out and around it. Chops it foul.
Just a gorgeous day in Detroit. It's up to 68 degrees, most unusual for this time in April.
He gone. So a lot of fastballs and then the old equalizer.
5 strikeouts, no walks. That lone home run, the only tarnish through 5 2/3. Jeff served notice the last 5 innings of that performance against Minnesota that he was starting to figure it out. He gave up 4 runs in the second, came back to throw 5 shutout innings, and has carried it over here this afternoon.
Avila. Alex has struck out and then fly deep out there in the left center.
Probably the best splitter that Jeff has thrown is that one just disappeared low and out of the zone.
That's out of play left side.
Shirt sleeve weather here in Detroit.
Got the big shift on for him. And it works. And that'll retire the side. A 1-2-3 inning. And we're into the 7th.
These are the best deal at the ballpark. Patio tickets include a game ticket, an all-you-can-eat buffet, which I certainly appreciate. It's catered by Baseball Buffet, as well as wine, Miller, and Pepsi beverages. The patio opens 90 minutes prior to the game and closes 30 minutes after the start of the game. To purchase tickets, visit whitesox.com/group.
LaRoche, Ramirez, and Beckham. Here in the top of the 7th inning, 1-3-1 for us, 1-7-0 for them. just tuning in, two beautiful defensive plays by Gordon Beckham. One of them sensational, saving 2 runs. The other cutting down a run at the plate. So he has saved 3 of them today for us.
J.D. Martinez very deep in right field. We'll say that because he's really shifted over toward right center, but there is a huge gap in right center field toward that scoreboard.
Three and 0.
You give it the 3-0 green light here?
No. Three and 1.
He was taken all the way as the leadoff hitter. You want him on board.
Tough left-hander against. Yeah, you're right. He's just in good a shape. He's just in good a shape at 3 and 1 as he was 3 and 0.
Got one down the middle, followed it straight back.
Yeah. And that's ball 4.
That was a good call by Mark Ripperger because that pitch was off the plate. It was definitely out of the zone. It was a really close pitch, and Adam just took it. And it is ball 4.
Well, he's going to walk a lot because of the fact of the way he takes pitches. That is so important to an umpire. When you take them with that appearance of that ball's off the plate.
Yeah, it's quiet hands. He's not even going out and attempting to get it.
No, you don't see anything jerky. You know, that shoulder flying open. That's popped up. And LaRoche now has walked in 4 of his last 7 plate appearances. So Alexei now 0 for 3, and that'll bring up Beckham, who's going first and third. He's still looking down for the first and third sign.
That's a good sign.
Yeah, it is.
It's a good sign for Joe McEwing to give. That's the one where you just dump it over the shortstop's head without a whole lot on it. Just get it into left center and let Adam run to third.
$33,081 in attendance.
And the Tiger bullpen throwing for the first time today. Gorzolani is the left-hander. They also have a right-hander throwing.
This will be the 96th pitch. Hit it hard but foul. Now you got to cinch it up and hunker down. 15. Seventh inning stretch, still tied at 1. Jose Iglesias will lead it off, and there's a high chopper over the head of Beckham, and that's going to be a leadoff double. Just a Baltimore chop.
Now the biggest advantage when you're known as a guy who can bunt. Iglesias has great speed, but with Beckham drawn in to take away the bunt, this one bouncing right over his head. If he's at the normal position, he catches it, but you see he's in on the grass, which you have to do with a guy who will bunt. And now you have a guy who probably will be bunting to move him along to third, and Rajay Davis.
He is 1 for 2. Got the corners in close, both right at the cut of the grass. And he's going to bunt it, caught by Beckham. 1 out.
Gordon not only anticipating the bunt, but coming in with the bunt, and it's a very bad bunt by Davis. He drops the head of the bat, and Gordon flying into foul territory, able to make the catch and freeze Iglesias right there.
Well, that's a bunt for the most part. You'd think that he was trying to bunt also a two-way bunt for a base hit, instead of just sacrificing.
All he's got to do is bunt it right at Gordon, and Iglesias coasts into third. Not particularly well thought out, and Dave Clark, the third base coach, not particularly happy with that one.
Here's Ghost. He's 2 for 3. Takes first pitch strike.
Jeff is going to have to keep a close eye and look back a couple of times at second for Iglesias. He's 4 for 4 in stolen bases, and good base stealers will tell you easier to steal third than it is to steal second.
A lot of times what a middle infielder who's on second, who's got good speed in this situation like Iglesias, he'd be looking into the signs, and if he sees that breaking ball and he sees that catcher go down and in a little bit, he gone. He got a very short lead though. Very short. One and two. Two down. Iglesias in the third. So here's Kinsler. He's 0 for 3, but make no mistake about it, this guy, this is when he can really bristle up. Last year, drove in 92 runs hitting out of that 2-hole for the most part. Breaking ball strike. Off the end of the bat. Gotta hurry. Yes! So he pitches out of the leadoff double, and we're still tied at 1. back on CSN for the series finale between our Sox and these Tigers. White Sox pregame live presented by Lexus of Orland starts at 11:30 on Comcast Sportsnet.
Both of these pitchers have done a remarkable job. Jeff Samardzija has pitched out of some big jams in the first inning, in the third inning where an error played a part. In the fifth, well, he had 2 on but 2 out. And getting out of the seventh with a leadoff double. Tremendous performance by the Shark today.
He's had some help, especially from that third baseman of his. First pitch strike to Giovanni, who's 1 for 2. He just turning in. Beckham was saved him 3 runs today. Oh, 2.
Price, as he's moved along in this game, has rediscovered that straight change because he didn't have it. Didn't have a feel for it early in the game. But the last couple of innings, he's used it very well and spotted it perfectly.
One down. 7 strikeouts now for Price.
After a changeup, he throws it just off the plate, but too close to take. And it's pitch 101 forthcoming.
Here's Bonifacio. He's 0 for 2. There's that changeup.
Mile-an-hour's difference between that fastball and the changeup. 11 or 12 miles an hour is exactly where you want it. And that's where Price has it at this point.
Six pitches, 2 strikeouts.
Stop by Shy Sox Bar and Grill at U.S. Cellular Field. Shy Sox Bar and Grill offers a full menu from Gibson's Restaurant Group. With 70 flat screen HD TVs, it's open 4 hours prior to all home games. Shy Sox Bar and Grill is located at the Gate 5 Plaza.
Still, process. I didn't see him in our last homestand. Yes, there's a base hit by Adam Eaton. He's now 2 for 4.
David Price probably mystified as to why a little left-hand hitter would have so much success against him. It's a high fastball. And Adam has had the best luck of anybody wearing a White Sox uniform against David Price over the course of his career.
Well, I'll tell you what, with the stuff he's been showing us today, which is good stuff, there's no question about that. But if I were a switch hitter, I'd hit left-handed against him. Here's Cabrera.
He used to do that.
You're right, he did not break out that changeup until about the middle of the game.
They used to use that against Tom Glavine during his heyday with the Atlanta Braves. A lot of switch hitters hit from the left side against the left-hander.
Against certain left-handers, I think they are more dangerous if you're a switch hitter hitting left-handed, or if he's a right-hander hitting right-handed. And you can check the splits out on a lot of these guys, and that'll tell you what it is.
Jabba Chamberlain throwing in the bullpen.
Big gap in left center if he can find it.
Zach Duke throwing in the pen. Earlier, Tom Gorzolani was throwing in the Tiger bullpen, and both of those guys were teammates with the Pittsburgh Pirates. In fact, both of them were starting pitchers in the same rotation.
Decent lead. Just a decent lead by Adam. There he goes. So he strikes out the side, and we'll go to the bottom of the 8th. It's the bottom of the 8th inning, and guess who's leading off? And that is hit hard, but just foul. Thank you very much. Cabrera has hit it hard all 3 times today, once for a double, and just missed the home run out there in deep left center field.
And he's absolutely been on everything that Jeff has thrown.
And he was robbed of a 2-run double on a brilliant play by Gordon Beckham. He singled in the 5th. 1-4-1 for us, 1-8-0 for them, if you're just tuning in.
That got both the mask of Gio Soto and Mark Ripperger. So it was a 2-for-1 and a high fastball. No, got him in the shoulder. Got Ripperger in the shoulder and Gio in the mask.
He gone. Gas.
Well, I think that's where Jeff Samardzija did something different than Gio wanted. Gio wanted this ball low and away, and Jeff just threw it as hard as he could and threw it up and out of the zone. And for the first time today, he not only got Cabrera out, but he made him look bad, and the Shark is pumped.
High, center field, can of corn, 2 down.
Followed the White Sox all season in 2015 with MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At Bat is up to the moment at any moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay previews, booth broadcasts, and statcasts, as well as more. Get MLB.com at bat for your smartphone or tablet.
Here's Cespedes. He is 1 for 3. His first homer of the season. A long home run coming back in the 4th inning. And that was pitch number 101.
There is the closer with Joe Nathan disabled and no timetable as to his return. Joakim Soria has taken over the reins, and that's why they got him as an insurance policy against Nathan. One thing Jeff hasn't done with Cespedes is throw him anything off speed after seeing one taking 8 miles to left field.
Why?
He believes that he can throw high fastballs by him.
He gone. A beautiful 8th inning. Couple of strikeouts of Cabrera and Cespedes. Then we're into the 9th.
It's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite, and this pitching matchup lived up to its billing. David Price helped himself with a couple of excellent defensive plays. He struck out 9. He was absolutely brilliant, and he was matched pitch for pitch by Jeff Samardzija, who went 8 innings, struck out 7, didn't walk anybody, and what a job as Joakim Soria comes into the ball game on for the 7th time. His ERA under 2 and 4 for 4 in save opportunities, of which this is not one.
1-0 pitch to Abreu, and the count 2-0.
I think Jose is very happy to see David Price out of the ball game. He's been kept in the infield all game long. Not that Soria is easy to face, but he might be a little bit easier for the big man.
And that's caught by Castellanos. The peg in time. Beautiful play. We have seen some terrific defensive play at third base today.
We told you that Nick has been working on footwork with Omar Vizquel. And last year he had a tough year. This year not so. The entire defense of this Tiger team is much improved, and Castellanos just an example of it.
Here's Javi. He's 1 for 3. Takes ball 1.
Tigers acquired him last year on July 23rd for Corey Nebel and Jake Thompson. They got him as insurance policy. He was a lifetime closer, just in case something happened to Joe Nathan. Then right now it's going to pay dividends for them.
Harvey, the reason we're tied at 1. There's a chopper to Hopper Kinsler, and the reason being back leading off the second inning.
One of the few mistakes that David Price made, and against his former teammates, it's his first home run of the year.
So here's Adam. He's gone out to center, grounded to second, and walked. Two and 0.
Adam is looking to hit one out. That's what a home run hitter does. Nobody on and 2 outs in the 9th inning. That one low and away. Not a pitch to do that with.
This is when you're zoning rather than looking for just a strike. That's off the end of the bat into right center field. Martinez makes the call, has the ball. 1-2-3 inning for Soria. And we're still tied at 1.
Absolutely brilliant through 8 innings. You have 1 run on 8 hits, no walks, 7 strikeouts, and Zach Duke comes in at 1-0. He's on for the 5th time. His ERA, a pretty good 2.25. We told you this was going to be a very exciting pitching matchup with Price and Samardzija. Both of those starting pitchers were just exceptional this afternoon. And we find ourselves tied at 1 in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Castellanos, Avila, Iglesias. Scheduled hitters to face Zach Duke. And that's into right field. Caught, no. Got a shot with a good throw. He gone. No, he said he missed him.
And Brian O'Nora said that even though the throw beat him, he missed him. And Robin has nothing to lose here if in fact he believes that he got him. It was a perfect throw by Garcia. He tries to make a great catch and has the ball just trickle away. Now he gets himself composed and rifles it to second base. He beats him by plenty.
He missed him.
But Alexi just didn't put the tag on.
He did not put the tag on him.
When you have the ball that much ahead of a base runner, you have got to find some way to tag it.
So he definitely missed the tag.
And appeared to be a good call by O'Nora.
It was a great throw by Avi.
Now we got a pinch runner for Castellanos. And it's Romine. And again, Robin's got nothing to lose if he says take a look at it. Nothing at all to lose.
All right, let's take another look.
That's not the angle that will be definitive, if there in fact is a definitive angle. That probably also is not the angle.
No.
But there was one, and this would be the angle.
The only place he possibly could have would have been on the left shirt sleeve of Castellanos. That was an out that should have been, and it's not, and we're in trouble. Alex Avila. Sacrifice 5-4. Romine in the third. That's a shame.
Perfect throw, and somehow, if you're making the tag, you got to stick your nose in there, and you got to stick the glove right into the base runner.
Now the infield in. Iglesias is lined hard to center, grounded to third, and hit a Baltimore chop double over the head of Beckham.
The infield could hardly get any closer. They're all pretty much on the grass. And a good breaking ball from Zach Duke. As Iglesias well out in front, he just barely made contact.
Well, he can do the same thing, maybe take another 4 or 5 inches off of it.
Want to get a young hitter, maybe impatient, swinging a pitch out of the zone, but Gio has got to make sure he smothers anything in the dirt.
And if he wants to go up, he's got to be well up out of the zone.
That wasn't up. He got it in, but it wasn't up. Very good sharp breaking slider. The only thing Iglesias could do is yank it foul. He was able to stay alive on a pitch that was a good 8 inches off the plate.
Well, at 0-2, he's definitely in a swing mode. There is a run that should never have crossed the plate. There is a man at second base that never should have been at second. Should have been 1 out, nobody on.
It was a magnificently played game, and unfortunately, the Sox opened the door in the 9th, and the Tigers have moved to 9-1. It was a great pitching duel between Price and Samardzija, and at the end of the day, a tag that wasn't made tells the tale as Iglesias, on his second hit of the day, punches it through a drawn-in infield, and that is that.
And let's check out our player of the game. It is our big right-hander, Jeff Samardzija. 8 innings, gave up but 1 run. 8 hits, no walks, 7 strikeouts. Our player of the game. So for my partner, Steve Stone, our director, Jim Angio, our producer, John Walgren, our associate producer, Chris Kamka, our technical manager, Mark Harper, also for Jeff Morrell, Jason Lynch, Mark Stacy, and our executive producer, Jim Corner Jr. This is the Hawk. So long, everybody. Coming up next, Subaru Postgame Live with Jen and Bill. You've been watching White Sox baseball on Comcast Sportsnet.